the seniors who will be key today, Laettner and Davis. And Laettner and Montross tip it. Duke will have the first chance. Hurley has been brilliant so far in this tournament. 13 assists. Matched at ACC Tournament high. That was in the opener against Maryland the other night. Thomas Hill.
North Carolina in a man-to-man, Brad. Thomas Hill finding the range. You know, Duke's got 5 guys who can score.
Duke in the man-to-man is Lynch. Kicks outside to Phelps. Ryan Davis on Hubert Davis. What a matchup that'll be. Hurley with a steal. Phelps to beat, and he does.
Duke really does a great job keeping pressure on the basketball, denying the guy with the ball a good look at the passing lane.
Lynch works the baseline.
Job by George Lynch. He's had a great tournament thus far. 41 points in the 2 games.
Laettner's first touch, and he threw it away.
Antonio Lang has gone up the court telling Laettner to shoot it. Lang had great rebounding position. He was all alone under the basket. That's what Laettner saw. Lang, however, had his eyes elsewhere.
Carolina with a chance to tie. Montross wheels on Laettner, and Laettner stripped the ball. 3-on-2 Duke. Thomas Hill walked with it. Unlike Duke, early to have a couple of turnovers.
North Carolina did a tremendous job yesterday getting back and defending the transition play, and they're starting out very well here today.
Reese the miss, Ryan Davis the rebound. Bobby Hurley pulls up. Just inside the 3-point line, he buries the jumper. Hurley with 4.
Got to be ready to play right away when Duke gets the ball down the court.
Reese in trouble. Hurley forced another turnover.
Ryan Davis is doing a tremendous job keeping the ball out of the hands of Hubert Davis. And with North Carolina's lineup, don't look. Here you go. There's Hurley diving after the basketball. Phelps is the last guy to touch it. And don't you think Duke is excited about this game? That's the Mike Krzyzewski scowl right there. Transferred over to his point guard.
I don't even think he has to practice that. It comes naturally. Hurley again. Jumper, got another one.
We talked about the versatility of Duke. Laettner hasn't scored yet.
Great pass inside, and Brian Reese hammers it home.
Oh boy, and we're talking to one another already. Reese got by Thomas Hill and dunked it in, said something to him. And Thomas Hill told him, don't you talk that trash. Phelps doing a nice job keeping Hurley away. Reese with the cut, a good screen by Lynch. And as Reese gets in, he turns and he says something to Thomas Hill. And Hill had a response. Of course, the verbal response isn't nearly as good as the dunk.
Reese with a chance to cap the 3-point play.
A good comeback is always important, but his coach would prefer that he stop the dunk.
8-5, Duke. Thomas Hill. Hurley's been hot. Hurley. Laettner. 3-pointer will go. Lang. Strong rebound inside. Blue Devil.
Ryan Davis is working really hard. And Thomas Hill's been burned twice in a row now by Reese.
Ryan Reese hadn't been a factor coming into this game with 4 points in the first outing and 6 yesterday, and already he has 5 to lead Carolina. Hill outside. Thomas Hill's jumper won't go, but Laettner keeps it alive. Hurley, 3-pointer. Montross up strong for the Tar Heel. Lynch. Always been something inside.
We talk so much about Duke's transition game, you forget that North Carolina has one of the best transition games around in they burned Duke that time, and now they drop back into a zone.
Tar Heel fans come to life as their clubs back to within one. Laettner threw it away again.
Hubert Davis got a hand in there.
For the lead. Hubert Davis has put Carolina in front by 2.
The guy that keyed this run, though, was Brian Reese with those 2 aggressive moves to the basket.
Laettner will try again outside.
And that's a 3.
He's hit 20 of his last 30 three-pointers. Duke. Almost 5 minutes into the game.
That's a nice job by Phelps.
Davis works free in the paint. I think we finally got a good one, Dan.
This is really fun to watch. Brian Davis is working as hard as you can defensively. Hurley tosses that one away against Hubert Davis. But Davis is just doing such a great job on offense, he's getting open anyway.
15:03 to go first half. The Tar Heels by 1. That's pretty hot. Carolina with only 1 miss. And they bring it up with a 1-point lead.
North Carolina has got excellent shots, Brad. And that's really something against the Duke defense.
Laettner knocked it away. Turnover, North Carolina. Grant Hill into the lineup for Duke. Bobby Hurley alone. That one rattled out. Battle for the rebound, won by Phelps, and the outlet to Davis. He'll take it up himself. Boy, if he starts hot, look out. And he has.
That was an awfully tough shot on a dead run with somebody in your face. North Carolina in the zone.
Grant Hill. Just bring off an All-American off your bench.
It's okay. Duke has 5 guys averaging in double figures. Grant Hill, of course, is one of them.
16-15 Tar Heels. Rodel in the lineup for Carolina. Here's Montross. Good position in low and a nice feed by Phelps.
Perfect pass. Nobody was back there for help, and you throw the ball just a little bit higher to Montross, and nobody can get it.
Lang. That one rattled out. Laettner in the paint. He got every part of the rim, and it finally went through.
North Carolina's been successful making Duke play against the set defense and forcing Duke into the perimeter shot.
Sullivan, Rodel, Davis, Phelps, and Montross for North Carolina. Brian Davis on Hubert Davis.
North Carolina being very patient, turning the offense over.
Davis is 3 for 3. He missed that one.
Oh, he's getting called for an offensive foul, pushing off with the arm in the drive to the basket against Antonio Lang. And that's an excellent call. I'll tell you what, he goes up against Lang, and the replay clearly showed that as he jumped into Lang and thrust that arm just a little bit out there, I don't know how the officials saw that.
Dick Paparo made the call.
This is called the principle of verticality. You're entitled to your position even when you jump in the air. They were both in the air, but Davis just that little throw of the arm.
Matt Wenstrom checks in for Carolina. You can't take out your opponent's rib on the way to the hoop, though.
Generally not. Not if the officials see it.
Laettner trying to jump stop and travel with it.
That was a very interesting move. That's another one if you can get away with it. It's a great.
We mentioned Dick Paparo, the other officials, Lenny Wirtz and Frank Scagliotta, starting in this championship final.
North Carolina showed the trap that time, Brad, for the first time, and Duke turned it over.
And by the way, much like these teams, these officials earn their way to the championship game, too. Wenstrom Kick it back outside.
They travel. A couple of whistles went at the same time. One of the officials had a 5-second violation underneath the basket. Frank Scagliotta calls the walk. As we take a look from overhead, watch Duke cut off the passing lane. Wenstrom now picks it up. He's got no place to throw the ball until right there, but by that time he's already walked, so it's too late. Excellent job by Duke cutting off the passing lanes.
Couldn't even see light through there. Lynch on Laettner.
Lynch is right in his face.
Bobby Hurley, three-pointer. Rebound, Rodel. Clears it out, Lynch all alone.
Hurley went for the steal, and if you're going to go for it, you better get it. And he didn't.
Lynch was 6. North Carolina's lead again is 3.
North Carolina back to the zone.
Laettner.
A great cut to the basket.
Push out Wenstrom inside.
Watch Bobby Hurley go for the ball right there, and he missed it. And then, as you can see, Hurley in the background, he turns around and suddenly realizes there isn't anybody to contest George Lynch. Need to make George Lynch work a little harder for his baskets than that.
Eric Montross back in for North Carolina. Joining Derek Phelps, George Lynch, Brian Reese, and Henrik Rodel. Discussion going on among the officials.
Well, the discussion is going on as to whether it was a shot or a pass. It was clearly a pass. And that's what the official call is. So Christian Laettner will not be shooting 2 free throws. Duke will have the ball out of bounds.
We'll look at it when we come back. 11:37 to go, first half. Carolina by 3. Back after this from Budweiser. Everybody's dressed in blue. Varying shades, however. Carolina and Duke for the ACC Championship. Let's take a look at that last play, Dan Bonner.
Christian Laettner going to the free throw line may have been an editorial comment about what he should have done as opposed to what he did. He passed the ball clearly. Now at the next level that he'll proceed to next year, when you hear that whistle, he better get that ball up on the board and get those 2 shots.
How about 90% from the field for North Carolina? 57 normally is going to get you a lead. Devils are down by 3. Parks, nice inbound pass, but he missed in close.
And now he's going to get the foul going over the back of George Lynch. Brad, you're absolutely right about the Duke shooting percentage. Normally 57% ought to be enough. North Carolina has shredded the vaunted Duke defense to this point. They're getting easy opportunities, and they are converting them. I can only think of one tough shot that Hubert Davis made. Otherwise, they've had dunks and wide open opportunities.
Laettner picks up Rodel, who drove past him, and Parks sent it out into row 1.
That was not a wide open opportunity. Rodel sees Laettner out at the top and decides he's going to take him to the basket, but they get 2 big guys playing in there now.
Lynch crosses it to Reese. Montross. Parks blocked another one.
Reese has been reluctant the whole tournament to take that outside jumper.
5 on the shot clock. I don't know if he can get it away. He sets up. Got it away, but didn't get the shot. Grant Hill will chase it down.
And you ignore that horn. What a catch!
Strong inside for Laettner. He's fouled.
Wow. I don't know how he caught the ball. I don't know how he got away with dribbling the ball. I know how he got fouled, though.
Carolina looked a little disorganized their last trip down offensively, and Hubert Davis will check back in.
Laettner snatches that ball away from Rodel, dribbles it past, and gets fouled inside.
Free throw percentage yesterday against Georgia Tech.
He'll take that every time out.
Speaking of free throw shooters, the 3rd best in the ACC during the regular season at the line, Christian Laettner. Laettner with 6 points. 2,326 career. And by the way, he has moved into the number 2 spot, passing Mike Jerminski already in this game. Montross.
That's a perfect example of what North Carolina has been able to do in this ball game so far. Man-to-man.
Thomas Hill. His shot comes out. Grant Hill there. Whoa. (22-21) North Carolina. Lynch. You want to talk about some intensity in this game? We can feel it over here.
North Carolina doing a great job of movement, not only of themselves, but of the basketball. Great passing on the offensive end of the court. Of course, that's where you pass.
Thomas Hill. Short, battling for his own rebound. Lynch came up with it.
Parks whiffed on the dive for the ball.
Ryan Reese, 3-on-1. Donald Williams can't get it. Laettner clears it off. Here comes Duke. Hurley and Grant Hill, 2-on-2. Foul. It'll be on George Lynch. Be sure to stay tuned at halftime for the Norwegian Cruise Line Trivia Contest. You could win a great cruise for 2.
George Lynch with 2 personal fouls. You may have caught a quick glimpse of him taking himself out of the game. There's Cherokee Parks having to come and help against Williams, and so therefore his man Montross is open for the dunk. The shot by Thomas Hill. Everybody blocks out, but Parks gets his hands on the basketball, and as a result it bounces right to Grant Hill, who knows how to finish a play.
Several substitutions during those replays. Let's bring you up to date. Duke's got Hurley, Antonio Lang, Thomas Hill, Christian Laettner, and Brian Davis on the court. North Carolina counters with Derek Phelps, who just checked back in, along with Kevin Salvadori, Hubert Davis, Pat Sullivan, and Henrik Rodel. There's your 10. It's 24-21 with 9:22 to go first half. Laettner, wide open, Brian Davis. And he threw it away to Hubert Davis. Phelps slams it home.
North Carolina doing a great job on the defensive end, changing defenses, getting in the passing lane, and you can just see the Tar Heel confidence building.
And if you're Duke, you don't want to let it get built too high. 5-point lead is the highest of the day for the Tar Heels. 26-21.
And there again, Rodel is going to get called for a kick, and the clock's going to reset to 45, but that's another excellent example, a rather lazy pass by Brian Davis. And North Carolina is in the passing lanes.
I think Brian Davis has to find a way to get involved offensively for Duke. He's scoreless, and he had 17 points in each of the 2 games to get here.
That's the guy they got to get involved in the offense.
Grant Hill. Now Hurley. 3-pointer. Got it.
Now Duke up to that point, Brad, had only hit 1 of 6 from 3-point range. North Carolina had done a pretty good job forcing them outside.
Hurley leads Duke with 9. 26-24. Tar Heels, and
Phelps just dribbled it off his foot.
And that's the 7th turnover against North Carolina.
Here's the zone once again for North Carolina. They've been switching up fairly frequently.
We approach the 8-minute mark left first half. Laettner's tray. That one comes off. Lang, a strong rebound. Got it again and scored.
Boy, what great work inside. But here comes North Carolina back.
26-26 tie. Sullivan breaks the tie in a hurry.
North Carolina continues to get layup after layup. And we're going to get a foul against Antonio Lang, an illegal screen.
First foul against Lang. And with 7 minutes, 41 seconds left first half, we've got a timeout and a great one going. North Carolina leads Duke by 2. 28-26. We have had but one tie, and that was one basket ago, 26 apiece.
Brad, and the amazing thing about the Tar Heels is they're not getting the shots halfway up the lane. They're getting them right on top of the basket. Lynch gets fouled by Lang. That's a couple of fouls now against Lang. He just got called for the offensive foul down on the other end, so within the space of about 15 seconds, he gets 2.
You voted for the Dream Team, and now you can get the video. Stay tuned at halftime for details on how to order the True Value ACC Dream Team home video. Somewhere down the line, when we have a Dream Team, some of these young men will be on it, no doubt. Steal by Laettner. Just took it right away from Montross. Grant Hill almost ran out of baseline, got it back to Laettner. 2 for 3 out there today. He's got 10. Duke's back in front. Lynch. Duke ball.
Mike Krzyzewski is his team doing a couple of flops in there. Didn't get the offensive foul call. Great battle onside on the board.
#1 team in the country, leading North Carolina by a point.
Here's the zone, and they're going to trap out of the zone.
Give and go. Laettner and Davis. Davis got mugged by Montross.
Dean Smith asking for an offensive foul. I guess if you take your face and you run it into some guy's arm, that can be an offensive foul. This is great passing. Davis cuts right to the basket. Well, he did hit Montross. It was Montross whose face got the tough end of that deal.
Yeah, Eric got the bad end of both. Got the foul and got it in the chops. Ryan Davis scoreless to this point. He's the #5 free throw shooter in the ACC.
That's the worst way to get a foul, Brad. When you get punished. Your foul, you're supposed to dish out the punishment, not take it.
Duke back in front by a couple as Davis has his first point. Thomas Hill and assistant coach Tommy Amaker looking on from the Duke bench.
And this guy looks like he's got a grin on his face when he's shooting free throws.
One of the more personable kids you meet in all of college basketball. And Davis with his first 2 points and a 3-point Duke lead that might change in a hurry, but Phelps is going to pull up. Montross inside. Jump ball. Grant Hill, great defense. It'll still be Tar ball.
You saw there very briefly, Grant Hill's uniform looks like it's coming apart. This game really is intense. Grant Hill, now this is just a tremendous job by Hill. What a mismatch inside, but he gets it and takes it away with the jump ball call. String hanging out of his jersey and everything.
Montross missed, got it back, and didn't miss that time. 31-30 Duke with 6:20 to play first half. Ryan Davis sets up, buries it outside, just inside the 3-point line.
Brian Davis has a string trailing from his uniform too. You know, Duke, they're such a successful program, you figure they'd get uniforms that stick together.
George Lynch drives on Lang, lost the handle, but Phelps picked it up.
Oh, he's trapped in there. Nice job to get it out.
Hubert Davis started off hot, and he has not even touched it almost for Carolina lately. He did there, and Hurley ducked it away. Last touch by Bobby Hurley.
You can see the kind of attention that when you start off as hot as Hubert Davis did, you draw. Duke doing a good job switching inside on this particular offensive sequence.
Now keep in mind, Carolina did not get a shot off in that sequence, and they have 14 left on the shot clock. Phelps got loose. Drove down low and crossed it to Reese. Rebound Laettner. Here comes Duke. Grant Hill on the fly.
Krzyzewski is up stomping his foot, sort of an old lefty Drizel move. And here come the Duke fans.
Moments ago was Carolina by 5. Now it's Duke by 5. Phelps is getting himself in some trouble down on that baseline. Hubert Davis adjusts in midair and came up short. Ryan Reese and Christian Laettner battled for it. And while it's a jump ball, the possession arrow will go in Duke's favor.
Brad, I thought this game was pretty intense at the start, but it gets more and more intense as it goes along.
You know, while both teams have had a few mistakes and a few turnovers, hopefully, I think you can tell by the shots that we're getting from our guys that you can just see it in the eyes of these two teams. Boy, they want it bad. Duke 35, Carolina 30. Under 5 minutes, first half.
Back to that 1-3-1 zone, not trapping this time. The changing defense forces Duke to adjust, keeps them out of a rhythm.
Bobby Hurley tried to sneak one inside. It's stolen away by Derek Phelps.
Laettner didn't cut.
Loose ball on the other end.
Foul against Laettner. Reese scrambling for the ball in there.
Christian Laettner's first foul.
That's his first 15 foul.
35-30. North Carolina with a chance to cut into that 5-point Duke lead, but Grant Hill might have a steal, and if he does, look out on the other end. I don't think he needs a jersey. Maybe a cape with an S on it.
He's already got one of those. What a play.
Duke with its biggest lead of 7. Carolina in desperate need of a hoop this trip down. Ryan Reese over Bobby Hurley. Good shot.
I think Reese must be more aggressive on the offensive end of the court. Duke is devoting such time and effort to Hubert Davis. Reese is going to have some opportunities he's got to take advantage of.
He already has more points than he had in the first 2 games to get to this championship matchup. Ryan Davis, 2-pointer won't go. Montross all alone in the paint for the rebound. 37-32 Duke. 3:40 to go. Ryan Reese short on the 3, battling for his own rebound, and he got it to Lynch. Good hustle, but Lynch threw it away. Davis, Thomas Hill. Boy, you make a mistake against these guys, you can almost chalk it on the other end.
Duke's defense has been the key in this turnaround, Brad. North Carolina not getting all those dunks and layups. North Carolina turning the ball over a little bit more, allowing Duke to get into the fast break. That's probably not a bad foul. The foul's called against Reese, but my goodness, Duke was out and going again.
We've got a timeout with 3:06 to go first half, and Duke out in front by 7.
North Carolina was shooting 9 of 10 at one point in this ball game, but the Duke defense has tightened up. This is just a wonderful play. Hill knocks the ball away and then chases it down. That doesn't need any explanation at all.
That, of course, is on an ankle that's still not 100%.
Which is a scary thought.
Carolina's come back to the pack field goal wise at 58%. There is Calvin Hill, former NFL great, watching his son. Duke shooting 57%, North Carolina 58% in this championship matchup with 3:06 to go first half, and Duke with its largest margin out in front by 7.
As you get a look at Eric Montross, think about the fact that at one point North Carolina was 9 of 10. Now they are 15 of 26. So they're only 6 of their last 16. Duke has gotten it in gear with scoring those points off turnovers.
Ryan Davis, Antonio Lang, Bobby Hurley, Thomas Hill, and Christian Laettner out there for Duke. Hubert Davis, Derek Phelps, Eric Montross, George Lynch, Brian Reese for North Carolina. Laettner doubled, sends it out to Davis. Laettner wants it in there against Montross. They're having a hard hard time getting it to him.
Lynch is leaving Lang and helping out against Laettner.
12 on the shot clock. Now we're under 10, and Bobby Hurley's going to reset it. There's the shot clock in the corner. They clear out. Hurley does it himself, but comes up short, and a charging call.
One of the reasons these two teams play such intense basketball games against one another is that they know one another. And Bobby Hurley taking the ball, you know he's going to take it to the basket. Hubert Davis steps in and draws the charge.
The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Raycom and Jefferson Pilot Sports. Any use of this broadcast without their express permission is prohibited. With Dan Bonner, I'm Brad Nussler in this ACC Championship game at the Charlotte Coliseum, where the Blue Devils of Duke lead the North Carolina Tar Heels 39-32, and we approach the 2-minute mark first half. Ball loose. George Lynch lost the handle.
Brad, North Carolina's got to get back somehow to get production from the inside. They're getting the ball inside, but Duke is slapping it away. The help is coming and preventing extra passes from being made inside. Once North Carolina gets it in there, they can't do anything with it, and that's a real turnaround from early in the game.
That was Carolina's 12th turnover of the first half. Grant Hill. Hurley drives again, and again misses. Phelps. Lynch got the rebound somehow.
He tipped it, didn't get it to go, and then still was able to get up and pull it down.
Hubert Davis with a left hand.
When you need one badly, you got to figure that's the guy who's going to get it for you.
9 for Davis. Duke's lead cut to 5.
Minute 15 left in the half. Grant Hill is asking for a lob. That's a bold move. Montross is standing next to the basket.
Thomas Hill.
Oh, wow.
Got it back. Still can't get it to go. And Duke will have another try and a fresh 45 with under a minute to play. Dean Smith. His Tar Heels trying to cut into a 5-point Duke lead. Laettner has it knocked away, but last touch by George Lynch. Hurley threw a jump ball to Hill, and he pulled it down and then put it home.
Just throw it up in the air, somebody will get it. And that's with a 7-foot guy in the neighborhood for the other team.
41-34. There's about a 7-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
That's pretty good. Well, you can get those tenths of a second and you can do that.
Let's see if Hubert Davis gets his hands on it for the final shot. But he's got Brian Davis playing him defensively, and that won't be easy.
Well, they've lost him.
There he was, but Rodel couldn't get it to him. Foul on Duke.
Brian Davis lost him. Hubert Davis cut through the lane, and in that situation, you wonder if you're going to lose one guy. How in the world can it be Hubert Davis? But Davis made a pretty good play. He recovered to the basketball, tried to steal the basketball before they could get it over to Davis, and so now Rodel, not a particularly good free throw shooter, is going to the line for a 1-and-1.
Hubert Davis got free just outside the 3-point arc on the left wing. That's one of his hot spots, but he's going to sit down because Rodel goes to the line with 15.8 seconds remaining in the half.
Davis is a 45% three-point shooter. Rodel is a 54% free throw shooter.
You'd almost rather have Davis taking the trade than Rodel at the line, but Henrik made us all look kind of silly. That's his first point.
Thank you. There we got one. Let him leave his hand.
Rodel got them both. 41-36. One shot left for Duke unless Carolina can steal it. Laettner will take it for 3. Got it.
Brad, North Carolina was in a zone and they couldn't decide who was supposed to be where, and they left Laettner alone.
Sullivan with a 3. Duke on that Christian Laettner 3-point basket with about 7 seconds left, able to stretch the lead out to 8 points at intermission. Christian Laettner, Brian Davis have never won an ACC tournament title, even though they wear a national championship ring. They're 20 minutes away from maybe the final piece to the puzzle in their college basketball careers, and here we go.
Duke stays in the man-to-man defense. North Carolina has switched it up throughout the game.
Backdoor Lynch got free and put it in.
Boy, what an incredible shot by Phelps.
Phelps, excuse me, yeah.
You got to take sometimes what the opposition is going to give you. Duke gave that back door, and North Carolina took it.
Hurley tried to lob to Laettner, and Laettner got pushed by Lynch underneath. Third foul on George Lynch.
Things are going pretty well for the Duke Blue Devils at the moment. That ball almost went in the basket, and it was supposed to be a lob pass. Not much arc on it, but it got close.
Antonio Lang thought about taking the jumper outside, drops it off to Thomas Hill.
Lynch matched up against Laettner inside. Lynch with those 3 fouls.
Brian Davis three-pointer.
He quick glanced over his shoulder to see if the official had both those arms in the air as he was running up the court.
47-38. It's up to a 9-point lead. Hubert Davis. He buries a 3.
It's a pretty good answer.
Cuts it right back to a Duke 6-point advantage. Ryan Reese giving Brian Davis almost too much room. Now gets back out on him. Hurley around a pick all the way.
Montross didn't come far enough, Brad. He cheated up there, and I think he felt like he had given Phelps sufficient room to get through, but Phelps didn't come, and Hurley went right to the basket.
49-41, Duke. Hubert Davis. That's a tough shot. He got fouled by Thomas Hill.
As we take a look from our overhead camera at the screen, Antonio Lang right there at the very bottom of your screen, sets the screen. Montross steps over, Phelps sees him and stops, but Montross doesn't come far enough.
Top free throw shooter in the ACC at the line. Hubert Davis.
Can't make them all.
Trying to become the first player since Johnny Dawkins and Lenny Bias back in '86 to have 20 points plus per game and 50% or more from the field and 80% plus from the line. He has 13 points, and the Duke lead is 7. Laettner.
That's just an unbelievable weapon. I mean, are you kidding me? You're guarding the other guy's center. You have to have the luxury to stand back in the lane and wait for the guy to come to you. That's unfair. He doesn't come that far.
He has 4 threes today. Montross didn't look for it. Lynch tried to get it to him underneath.
Dean Smith just stood up and said to George Lynch, easy pass.
Laettner's 4 for 6 from the 3-point line on the day. Ryan Reese got around Bobby Hurley. Maybe should have taken the shot. Tried to get it inside, and instead it's a turnover. And now Hurley pulls up. That would have been a killer had that gone. Phelps outlet to Davis. 3-on-2 for Carolina. Davis has it rejected by Laettner.
Laettner gets the block, but give Bobby Hurley some credit here. Watch Bobby Hurley pressure Davis, force him to shoot the ball from that double pump position, and so it's in perfect position for Laettner to swat it away.
Hubert Davis pulls up and has it go.
Brett, Duke shot 1 of their first 7 3-pointers. They've hit 5 of their last 7.
52-44. Duke by 8. Laettner again. Hurley got the rebound and fed to Lang.
It's an interesting twist. Laettner at 6'11" misses the 3. Hurley, the littlest guy out there, gets the rebound.
George Lynch from the baseline, can't get it. And Laettner got his hands on it, but his feet on the line. North Carolina ball.
Montross got smacked in the ear.
I don't think Eric's going to hear out of that side of his head for the next few minutes.
The battle inside continues to be very, very intense. Laettner smacked him on the head as they were battling for position inside.
Reese left to the hoop. Knocked it off his knee.
Laettner slapped the ball away again. Now watch as Reese drives the basket. Laettner reaches in and slaps it away. He has done that about 10 times throughout this tournament. I just don't remember seeing him do that in a game during the regular season, not as much as he does it here, and he gets away with it.
He had 5 steals in the first half. Graham Hill. You get all these parts moving in the right direction, and you've really got to come up with an answer on the other end, and Carolina hasn't so far. They trail by a dozen. Under 16 minutes to go. Derek Phelps, his 3-pointer. That'll help the cause for the Tar Heels.
I think we've got a couple of pretty important defensive series, offensive possessions coming up for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Duke appears to be on the verge of breaking away in this game, and North Carolina's got to do something to get it back.
Ryan Davis, short. And there's going to be a foul on North Carolina inside, trying to battle for position on the rebound.
Hubert Davis gets the foul.
15:32 to play. The Duke Blue Devils out in front, 56-47. We'll be back after this from Budweiser. Be sure to stay tuned for the Nations Bank Players of the Game Award. Nations Bank will contribute $1,000 to the Atlantic Coast Conference to be distributed among the member institutions under a conference-approved plan. That's the Nations Bank Players of the Game to be awarded near the end of our broadcast. There's a 3-point miss by Laettner, and then, as you said, the little guy is where he should be.
Yeah, that's something that hasn't happened too often. Laettner missed, but there's Hurley with the offensive rebound and the perfect pass inside. So your center shoots from 3, your point guard gets the rebound. Hurley now with 7 assists in the basketball game. Laettner has 7 steals. Duke doing a heck of a job of converting. You see, the rebounds are pretty close, but you can get all the rebounds you want. If you don't convert them, it's a meaningless stat. And Duke with a big advantage there.
And a 9-point advantage here on the scoreboard. Laettner inside.
What a pass by Graham Hill.
Laettner has 18 points.
And North Carolina's got to be looking for a run here.
Still a lot of time left, but you do need to make a run, or a couple of them, against a team like Duke.
You're right, Brad. You're not going to get it all back at one time.
Montross kicks it out to Rodel.
With this lineup in the basketball game, you better be getting the ball inside and converting inside. Duke sort of cut the inside off for North Carolina so far here in the first 5 minutes of the half.
With 8 seconds on the shot clock, Bobby Hurley commits a foul. There's a new tournament record for Bobby Hurley. As Dan mentioned, those 7 assists puts him over the mark, and that breaks the record of Jimmy Black between 1979 and 82 during the course of the ACC tournaments. Davis works against Brian Davis. There's some physical play underneath. You can hear bones cracking way over here.
Well, the one thing that you could hear clearly was people yelling inside, and every time you jump up for a rebound, you have to go, oh, so just in case you can get a foul call. That time, Salvadori clearly over the back of Laettner.
So Duke by 11. A chance to stretch the lead to its largest margin if they score this time down.
North Carolina goes back to the zone.
Grant Hill.
Laettner outside.
Hill works the baseline and it's double teamed there. 15 on the shot clock. Grant Hill buries it on the baseline.
Great ball movement against the zone.
It's a 13-point Blue Devil lead. Phelps for Salvadori.
Penetrated the Duke defense that time. Nice job by Phelps. He drew the defense. Salvadori cut to the open spot.
Salvadori's first basket. Baseline, Thomas Hill. Duke uses a little clock, gets it down to 15 on the shot clock. Christian Laettner, he's got another one. 5 threes on the day for Laettner.
They're not trying to use the clock necessarily, Brad. They're just very patiently attacking the zone defense, getting wide open shots, taking what the defense gives them, and impressively converting.
Hubert Davis had it stripped away. Montross picked up the loose ball.
There's Laettner again slapping that thing away. And he blocked that.
Grant Hill won it. Got it. Sends it to Hurley. Back to Hill. Might need a timeout here, North Carolina. Dean Smith calls timeout with 12:40 to go. The Devils of Duke are running away with it right now. Christian Laettner is 5 of 8 from three-point land in this ball game.
And he's doing other things, Brad, besides shooting the three. Here's Christian Laettner with the three-point shot. On the other end of the court, here's Christian Laettner with the blocked shot. Christian Laettner having a big basketball game. This is just a great job by Grant Hill. Rodel in perfect position to take the charge, but Hill stops. Hill 7 of 7 from the field, and Christian Laettner, along with his teammates, really enjoying it. His uniform's coming apart too. We're going to have to investigate this.
Laettner's hit 24 of his last 37 three-pointers. This is a guy that is 6'11". That's crazy. Lynch.
They needed that. You've got to start working yourself back in the basketball game here. You've got to start it on the defensive end of the court. Duke's just been able to do anything they've wanted to. You've got to get them out of their rhythm. North Carolina changes to the man-to-man in an attempt to do that.
Thomas Hill over Hubert Davis.
Okay, so much for that strategic move.
8th three-pointer of the game. Phelps drives all the way in. But you can't keep giving threes for twos, or you're going to lose ground consistently. With 11:45 to play, it's Duke 68, North Carolina 53. Grant Hill kicks it out to Brian Davis. That's a two-pointer.
I'll tell you what, they're a machine at the moment.
70-53. Hubert Davis got it to Lynch. Salvadori trying to keep it alive. Phelps somehow got it back and missed, and Laettner the rebound. Duke has only missed one shot in the second half.
Sure, North Carolina's partisans would believe that statistic. 11 of 12. Now the Tar Heels started the game 9 of 10. The difference being that Duke, with this hot streak in the second half, has really pulled away. Duke was able to hang with the Tar Heels in the first half, and the Tar Heels were making everything.
Hurley threw it away. Lynch in the right spot. He'll run it down. And George Lynch with 12.
That was a mistake by Bobby Hurley. Took it to the inside and suddenly found himself surrounded. Duke hasn't made too many of those mistakes, particularly in the second half.
Laettner up strong, got fouled by Salvadori. Be sure to stay tuned for the Players of the Game Award, brought to you by Nations Bank. And the guy that's going to go to the free throw line for Duke certainly has to be a strong candidate. Montross in, Salvadori out.
Laettner had a 33-point evening against Maryland. Then he only had 15 yesterday.
Only 15. Syracuse over Georgetown. Big East title. 22 points for Christian Laettner.
Mike Krzyzewski said yesterday that he thought Laettner played as good an all-round game as maybe Laettner has ever played at Duke, which is a heck of a statement to make. And it'll be hard to top the game he's had today so far.
23 for Laettner. It's 72-55. We're almost at the midway point of the second half. Brad Nessler and Dan Bonner with you in Charlotte for the ACC Tournament Championship, Duke and North Carolina. Davis, tough shot. 17 for Hubert Davis.
Brad, and he's had to work for just about every one of those 17. Duke doing a tremendous job finding him and defending him. Now here's some trapping pressure.
Antonio Lang's the free man, missed the shot, got his own board and scored.
North Carolina got what they wanted, Brad. The trapping pressure gets the ball into the hands of Lang, and he misses the shot, but then he gets his own rebound, and not only does he score, but he gets fouled. Here the ball comes right back to him. Sometimes out of the trap, it's tough to block out, but then he gets fouled, and Duke just feels it right at the moment. You just get the idea that they're going to move in for the kill.
Lang in the late stages of this Duke season has really come on to be yet another force that the rest of college basketball has to try to deal with. 75-57. Hubert Davis.
Guy's
got a two-pointer.
He's got some awfully broad shoulders. You don't see it when you just look at him, Brad, but he's been carrying this North Carolina team.
North Carolina in dire need of forcing some Duke turnovers. Ryan Davis goes up strong. Montross the rebound.
He barely near tipped that ball in. Duke certainly doesn't need that kind of help.
And Thomas Hill almost swiped it. Let's see. Still a loose ball, and Hurley's got it. And it's blocked by Montross, but the foul by Thomas Hill. Again, it's an 18-point Duke lead. Montross in close. Laettner just let him have it.
Very few times in this half, Brad, has North Carolina been able to get the ball inside to their big guys. Montross's first bucket of the half. Salvadori's got one. George Lynch only has two. It's a tough job for Montross coming out trying to guard Laettner out there.
15 on the shot clock and under 8 minutes on the game clock. Phelps goes down. Hurley with a jumper. Laettner got the rebound and he got fouled as well.
Hurley's laying on his backside over here by our table, asking for a foul.
Duke's got it going their way, 77-61. We'll be back after this from our good friends at Budweiser. 77-61, Duke with 7:43 to go. Let's take a look at our 4 keys to the game.
Christian Laettner with just a heck of a basketball game at 5 for 8 from three-point range. Duke shooting it very, very well. The story for North Carolina, you can see they got it inside effectively in the first half. In the second half, Duke has totally shut that down. Hubert Davis with 19 is keeping the Tar Heels within hailing distance.
I don't think the Tar Heels can worry about points in the paint anymore. They better get outside that three-point arc pretty soon. 7:43, all that's left. Unless they can pick up some three-point plays in the paint, it won't be enough to catch Duke.
Well, they've got Williams in the basketball game. His reputation is as a three-point shooter. I think you can expect some trapping by Carolina. Here you see it. They're going to try to create some turnovers and look for them to launch the three down on the other end. Duke, of course, can afford to be very patient. You don't want to be too patient, though, Brad, and get passive. Duke has been playing very, very well, and you don't want to lose that edge on the offensive end.
Williams on Hurley. 15 on the shot clock.
Hurley does a great job of looking for the official and seeing what stage he is at the count.
5 on the shot clock. Oh, boy. With 1 on the shot clock, they get a slam dunk. That's execution.
Oh, my.
Lynch down to Brian Reese. Brian almost lost the handle and did. Antonio Lang carried it. But he did carry it. Palmed it over, trying to find a handle.
You can afford to smile about that kind of an error when you're up 79-61.
Down to 6.5 minutes to play in this game. 79-61. Montross kicks it back out to Williams. There's the three, but he didn't get it. Lynch goes up inside. Fouled. He'll go to the line.
The ball goes inside to Montross. The defense collapses against him, and he pitches it out to Williams. He was just a tad short.
North Carolina got to celebrate last year with an ACC Tournament Championship. Duke only 6:21 away from being able to counter with one of their own here today.
North Carolina did such a tremendous job in their ball game yesterday against Florida State, taking away the strengths of the Seminoles, but they have not been able to do that against the Duke Blue Devils. Early in the first half, when North Carolina was shooting 90% from the field, Brad, they had a 2-point lead. When they were playing very, very well, the game was close. And as Duke has shut off some of their options, the margin in the game has stretched further and further out.
Problem is, Duke's got too many strengths, too many options.
Particularly with the fact that Grant Hill's back in the lineup and playing as well as he has played today. And Antonio Lang, who got the opportunity to play more with the injuries that Duke suffered, also having a very good game.
Duke again stretches things out. Laettner got by Salvador and puts it back on top to Grant Hill.
And they're just going to try to do what they did the last time. It's like Hill had a little bit of a nosebleed.
Yeah, he broke his nose last year, and he's got something in there now because he's had a bloody nose in this one. It's been a physical contest. Hurley. Rebound Davis.
And that's just as good as 2 points in that situation as you get a foul against George Lynch.
And George has 4.
George Lynch has 4.
Don't forget the True Value Dream Team home video is coming soon to True Value dealers near you, or you can order right now. Give a call, 1-800-854-4800. 1-800-854-4800. Get your True Value Dream Team home video. Mike Krzyzewski had a dream team for Duke last year with a national crown, but they couldn't win the ACC title. This year, it looks like it's going to be a different story unless Carolina can pull off a miracle comeback here in the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds. 10 points now for Brian Davis. Sullivan comes in for North Carolina. George Lynch will go down with those 4 personal fouls and sit. Second one comes out. Sullivan clears it ahead to Phelps. 80-62. Phelps, three-pointer. Came out on him. Laettner with a rebound. That's his 8th board of the day to go with his 23 points.
Of course, the strategy with launching the three-point shots, Brad, assumes you're going to make some of them.
Bobby Hurley couldn't handle it. Nice defense by Derek Phelps. Turnover Duke.
As we saw in yesterday's Florida State-North Carolina game, the three-point shot, if you can create some turnovers and get that three-point shot, you can cut into a lead very, very quickly. So North Carolina not out of this game yet, but they've got to get the threes to start going in the basket.
Salvadori. His second basket of the half. We're under 5 minutes. Brad Nessler and Dan Bonner at the Charlotte Coliseum. You can see it's Duke by 16.
And North Carolina cannot afford to have Duke run 40 seconds off the clock, whether they score or not at this point in the game. North Carolina has to do something to create a turnover early in the possession.
Laettner got position behind Salvadori, who blocked his first shot, fouled him on the second one.
Laettner with great position. Reese comes over, takes a swat at it, but you see how well he established himself. Then when Salvadori goes for the block, since Laettner took so much time to gather himself, he's able to be in good position for the rebound. And the Blue Devils starting to celebrate a little bit. You can understand why the fans starting to get up and leave. I think it's a little premature for that, but it's very nearly the end here for North Carolina. They did not play bad. They have not played badly, Brad. They have just run into a steamroll.
Remember the final last year for North Carolina, 96-74 as they blew out Duke. Keep your mind on that score as we approach 4:36 right now. You look up at the scoreboard, and this one has the makings of being a carbon copy in the other direction.
All right, one only, guys. One only.
One shot only, says Lenny Wirtz. Christian Laettner will try to cap the three-point play. That one comes out, and George Lynch the rebound. Rodel, nice feed inside to Lynch. Timeout, North Carolina. 4 minutes, 24 seconds left in this one. And the Blue Devils of Duke leading North Carolina 82-66. 4:24 away for Duke and an ACC Tournament Championship. Nikki Krzyzewski and her family looking on as her husband's club is about ready to win a big one here. And they'll go on to be a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Those pairings will be announced later on tonight.
Mike Krzyzewski wanted to use this weekend not only to win the tournament, but to get some work for his team in their style of play. And I'll tell you what, if they need any more work than this, it's going to be a scary thought for the rest of the country.
Lob. Grant Hill goes up, gets it, and puts it in. The only thing that spent more time above the rim in this game than Grant Hill is the 45-second shot clock. Sullivan. They needed that one. Three-pointer.
Yeah, but unfortunately they had to make a trade-off for it. George Lynch just fouled out of the game. We've shown you a couple of replays that demonstrated the principle of verticality. George Lynch just demonstrated for Grant Hill the principle of horizontality. Knocked him horizontal but got caught.
And that's going to do it for George.
George Lynch has had a pretty good tournament, though. You saw his numbers today, 15 points and 5 rebounds, 41 points in the 2 games prior to this one. George trying to get in position, just knocks him down.
So Brian Reese is going to come in as Lynch will have to sit down with 3:50 to play.
And Dean Smith taking this opportunity to take his time to put Brian Reese in the game, to have a little chat with Lenny Wirtz.
There's a young man that's going to be an awfully good one again next year as a senior at North Carolina. Every year he's gotten better. Great work ethic and plays bigger than he is. Tournament titles. Carolina's won a dozen. Then State, then Duke. Duke trying to add to that total. Grant Hill has 17 today.
Very discouraged group of North Carolina Tar Heels. They, like the Duke Blue Devils, will be in action again next week in the NCAA tournament.
86-69. Sullivan, three-pointer. That one's short. Reese threw it away. Three and a half minutes to go. And a foul on Derek Phelps.
Actually, the North Carolina Tar Heels did not get the foul as quickly as they wanted it. Duke moving the ball pretty well.
So Hill will go to the free throw line. Duke with 4 of the top 10 free throw shooters in the ACC. Laettner number 3, Hurley number 4, Davis number 5. This guy Grant Hill number 8. That's what you want when it comes down to crunch time.
Another thing that you'd like to have, and Duke has it today, is some balance. They've got 6 guys in double figures.
Okay, we got one.
You can understand why Derek Phelps would be shaking his head over there.
Grant Hill to try to make it number 20 on the day.
And as you can see from that view, he's had an interesting day here in more ways than one.
88-69. Hubert Davis.
And he has been harassed all day.
Sure has. Finally got free for a jumper that went in and out. Thomas Hill the rebound, and he's fouled immediately. Sullivan. Duke doing a great job from the free throw line all season and all day.
This is the last trip to the free throw line. Mike Krzyzewski, he's not done yet. There's 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in this game, and that look does not appear to be a man who feels comfortable.
Thomas Hill, one of the 6 Duke players in double figures. Got them both. 13 for Thomas Hill. Brian Reese on the other end. And timeout, North Carolina. That's their final one of the day. Dean Smith, I think, just trying to stop the clock and letting everybody know, let's go ahead and play. Maybe that's not what he's talking about.
Yes, that's exactly what he's talking about.
They'll go to the bench.
Hey, Dick.
And this gives us an opportunity with 2:55 to go in the ball game, and Duke up 90-71 for this message from the Atlantic Coast Conference. (90-71) Duke.
Really much left to North Carolina right at the moment, Brad. They don't really have enough time to come back in this basketball game. And Duke hasn't shown the desire to turn the ball over, although Laettner does that time, trying to get the hook pass around Montross. That's the old Harvey pass. You throw it to Harvey the rabbit. That's right. You're the only one who can see him.
19-point lead. Take much putting one up. Reese in the lane. Hurley the rebound.
And even with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the game and up by 19, Duke still contesting the shots.
Brian Davis.
Chalk up another assist for Hurley.
Sullivan backs outside the three-point line and put it in. 92-74. Last year's final, North Carolina 96, Duke 74. The tables have been turned here in 92.
Of course, North Carolina would not mind the turn of the tables, provided that they're able to get the national championship as Duke did last year. Bobby Hurley calls timeout. Unbelievable. The 5-second count is about to expire. Hurley standing right next to the official, calls timeout.
Pretty sharp. 1:37 left. Duke has 2 timeouts remaining. They really don't need them at this point, in command at 92-74.
And it's obviously a very happy and relaxed Duke huddle right at the moment. But the point that I was trying to make, last year Duke got blasted by North Carolina in this basketball game and came back to win the national championship.
Let's meet our Nations Bank players of the game. Hubert Davis, his final ACC tournament game, a 19-point outing, leading his club in scoring yet again. And Christian Laettner, who had 33 points and 16 rebounds against Maryland. Today, with another big outing at 25 points to go with 10 rebounds. Our congratulations to those two, and we wish them continued luck down the road, and we'll know by about 6:45 tonight.
Well, of course, if the Duke Blue Devils have got to figure that they're not going very far down the road, at least for the first 2 rounds of the NCAA basketball tournament.
Everyone assumes they'll be the top seed in Greensboro.
And we've got a lot of subs in the basketball game. Bobby Hurley with the double-double.
Scott Terry now guarding Bobby Hurley.
Burgess, Smith, Wenstrom in for North Carolina, as well as Stevenson.
Parks back to Grant Hill. Hill goes between his legs, kicks it out to Hurley with 5 on the shot clock. He puts it up with 1 on the shot clock.
Violation.
Didn't hit the rim, it hit the net. So, and Bobby Hurley will check out. And he gets a standing ovation from the Duke fans. Grant Hill goes out. They stay standing for him. And Duke just 1 minute away from the ACC tournament title. .5 seconds left, and a happy bunch on the Duke bench. Not so happy on the other side.
Ron Burt, Duke's walk-on, coming in the basketball game. Dick Paparo signaled him in, and I guess he plays so infrequently he didn't know he was allowed to come in, so it took a couple of minutes to get that young man, number 5 in white, in the ball game.
Second difference on the shot and game clock. Burt got his hands on it. He'll put it up. Ask comes around and buries it.
So much for clock management. The guys that come in at the end of a game aren't interested in that.
Wenstrom, a little too strong. Blakeney the rebound. Wenstrom got it back and has knocked out by Meek.
To show you how intense this rivalry is, North Carolina coaching staff is complaining that there was no call. The ball game's over.
7 of the last 11 ACC tournament champions have advanced to the Final Four. Duke, of course, has been there a bunch of times, including taking it all last year. Who knows? Maybe they're on their way back. But here today, by the almost identical score they were beaten by a year ago, revenge will be sweet. And for Christian Laettner and Brian Davis, two seniors who said we want to have fun, but we want an ACC tournament title, they've got it. The final piece to the college basketball careers of Christian Laettner and Brian Davis complete. They win it 94-74. We'll be back with some interviews with the Duke Blue Devils after this word from our good friends at Budweiser.